When you wrestled those few shows at Raw in '97, what were your interactions like with Vince? Like the first time you dealt with him when you were meeting, or like especially like those times too where you just kind of had those interactions where like, hey, you were kind of put in the middle between him and Heyman in a lot of ways. What do you remember? A lot of first reactions with him. We kind of talked about it last week in a way.
It's an easy one to answer because at that time, that first conversation that I had with Vince was my very last conversation that I had with Vince.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were in Detroit and I was, Paul had been working me up all along. As soon as something doesn't smell right, you say the word, we're out of here. We got your back. We'll go. And so I was like, Paul, did you hear what they want to, what are they talking about doing? And I was like, well, why would I wrestle Road Dogg as an outsider, coming in as ECW and then wrestle him, and then they want him over? Like, that's not good for our image or our company. I thought, like, you want to go? Let's go. We're out of here. Let's go. I'm like, I remember saying, Paul, I'm asking you for some, for your thoughts here, and he was like, what's going on now? If you think, let's, and it was that. So it was like, you want to talk to Vince? Yeah, I guess I do, let me see what's going on. And we all got in a room together, me and Sabu, and there's Vince, and Paul stayed behind us in the corner over there. I can't remember if he was talking to Bruce or to JR. I think he was talking to, I can't remember. One of them was back there and one of them was in front of us by Vince, and both of these guys were new to me that day.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have known, Bruce from Jerry Briscoe probably.
Right.
At that time. I don't know. But anyway, it's like I was the one. I had the floor. I remember that, and I was like, we're Vince. I appreciate you having us here. From what I remember, I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly, but it was like, dude, we appreciate the opportunity to, get our product on your stage so more people can see it. It's been awesome. I don't, we can't do this tonight. That's just not good business. And I can't even imagine what's in mind, like what whose idea that was or whatever the fuck. Like, why would we even do that? I don't even know. And then Vince was like, then when Vince took over, because I looked for Paul. We said we looked
over there. You're saying,
yeah. Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. And then, but when Vince he let me say my piece, and I explained I'm just here to help get ECW over, and this don't do it. And and he's like, well, first off, I never would have had you on my television if I didn't think you were staying here, and I'm working for WWE. And I was like, excuse me, what? That was like the furthest thing from what I expected to hear,
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. You look over at Paul, he's like, oh. And me and Sabu were looking at each other, and then Vince is like, actually, I plan on you long-term being a baby face, an aggressive baby face. But I see you, and I was just like, I don't even think I heard anything else. I was just like so surprised at what he was saying that I was like, wow, I think maybe at that time, maybe it was already too late to change my mind. And I think it's because of the time, you know what I mean? I think that when we talked to Vince, it was already like later in the day. Maybe it was when I was supposed to be in the ring. Maybe I had to throw somebody else out, and maybe we went all the way up till that time before I talked to Vince. I really don't remember the details, but I just remember like that was it. And it wasn't like, I don't really remember having a minute to consider and like, oh, am I getting a job offer right now? Like for me to consider, because it did come across like that. It just came across like, wow, this is a big misunderstanding.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's all it seemed like. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, I mean, especially if you're not, if there's two sides that's being played and you're not aware of it, it's just like, how do you expect to even know, you know?
Yeah. So it wasn't like, my baby face, you say, huh? Vince? Later, Paul. You know, like
See, Paul, all right, now
I
I got
wasn't prepared. Yeah, I wasn't prepared to do that to him, but
it.
he must have been prepared, must have been ready to possibly do that to me, seeing what I was walking into.
Yeah, yeah, he must have been. Yeah, that's a good point.